Namaskar. Welcome to this episode on Navaratri by Rukh Hyatt. We have been seeing numbers, group of numbers, and the feminine energy attached to these numbers. If you have visited Ellora or certain temples of Hoysala dynasty or maybe Pattadkal, you will see certain plank or maybe even in many popular Indian museums, if you will see a plank representing 7 or 8 female figures along with Ganesha or maybe 7 or 8 female figures along with Shiva. Those are called as Matrukas. We will see in today's episode who are these Matrukas, what is their exact number, and what is their representation, and how it is important for human life. या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्ते 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 नमो नमः. I salute again and again to that feminine energy which is nothing but motherly energy or mother energy. We are going to see which are these different representations of mother in Indian philosophy and Indian archaeology, and we will understand each one of them. Matruka is a word which comes from Sanskrit word matru, means mother, and matruka means multiple mothers. We are going to see what is this conceptualization of mother representation or maybe personification. During Diwali festival, there is a tradition of, in certain sects, there is a tradition to worship Shodasha Matruka. Shodash means 16. Shodasha Matruka, 16 mothers. They are named as Gauri, Padma, Shatri, Medha, Savitri, Vijaya, Jaya, Devasena, Sudha, Swaha, Mataro, Lokamataro, Dhruti, Pushti, Tushti, Atmanaha Kuladevata. These are the 16 Matrukas which are represented with a beautiful rangoli of grains and each betel nut representing each of Matruka along with Ganesha. This is the representation of Shodasha Matruka and worship of Shodasha Matruka. There are certain classification where there are Pancha Matrukas, 5 mothers. There is certain representation which is called as Sapta Matruka, 7 mothers. In Nepal, there is a conceptualization, or maybe in large part of India, it is Ashta Matruka, that means 8 mothers. Though the representation of mother also goes as Varna Matruka, where exact representation of each of Sanskrit alphabet is represented by a motherly figure, and that is called as Varna Matruka, and it is in 51 in numbers. We will see the most popular group of Matrukas, that is Ashta Matruka, in today's episode in details. These representation is considered to be coming from various sects of Indian belief system. Traditionally, it is seen that there are certain belief system in India: Vaishnavas, Shaivas, Sauri, that Vaishnava who believes in Vishnu, Shaivas who believe in Shiva, Sauri who believes into Surya or sun, Shakta who believes in the power, feminine power, and there is Smart who believes into Vedic deities, and so on and so forth. There are multiple ways of representation which also comes into Kapalik, that means they believe into certain kind of strong sect of Shaiva. Then Tantric, in each of these sect there is Tantra philosophy which has been flourished in India. Largely these Matrukas are coming from various sects of India. We will see the names of these Matrukas and understand each of these Matrukas. These Matrukas are Brahmani, Vaishnavi, Maheshwari, Indrani, Kaumari, Varahi, Chamunda, and Narasimhi. When we talk about Vaishnava philosophy, Shaiva philosophy, or Smarth philosophy, then all this representation, or maybe for that matter, the sect which believes strongly in Kartikeya or Kumara is also considered in these 8 Matrukas. They Narasimhi is an added Matruka in the sect of this Matruka set as such. You somewhere 7 Matrukas are worshipped, somewhere 8 Matrukas are worshipped. However, the philosophy remains the same. These are protective goddesses, and which are coming and which are usually represented on a plank or a plate, where 7 or 8 different feminine figures are represented, and along with that there will be Ganesha. In Ellora you will see first Shiva playing a veena kind of instrument, and on the tune of veena these 7 Matrukas are dancing or performing. That kind of representation also we can see in Ellora. However, when we look at this Matrukas, we will go one by one. Brahmani, which is considered to be the feminine energy of Brahma, and which is represented yellow in color, which holds a rosary in one hand, Kamandalu, and in some representation you can see the book has been held by this Matruka, or maybe a lotus has been held by this Matruka. The Vahana is considered to be Hamsa or Swan, is considered of this particular Matruka. Then comes Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi is also called many a times Vaishnu. She is feminine power of Vishnu. She is represented into bright color. She holds Shankha, Chakra, Padma. Her representation of the hands is Abhay Hasta or maybe Varad Hasta. She rides on Garuda or eagle. Then comes Maheshwari. She is also known as Rudri, Rudrani or Maheshi. She is feminine representation of Shiva. She is white in color. She rides on a bull and she holds a Trishul, Damru, Akshamala, Panapatra, that means something, a patra or a bowl which is used for drinking, or maybe in some extreme sectorial representation. She also holds the skull. Usually this representation comes into Kapalic ideology of Indian philosophy. Then comes Indrani, which is also called as Aindri, Vajri or Mahendri. Indra, the feminine power of Indra, Aindri. Since Indra holds Vajra, she is also called as Vajri. She is sometimes also called as Purandari. Indra's one of the name is Purandar, and Indra is considered to have thousands of eyes. She is also certainly represented with multiple eyes. She holds Vajra. She also holds a noose or a goat or gada. She holds a lotus. She rides on elephant. Then comes Kaumari. It is a very popular representation in south of India. She is feminine power of Kumara, or maybe we can say Kartikeya. She is considered to be feminine power of Muruga. She is also called as Kumari, Kartiki or Ambika. She rides of course on peacock, and she holds this similar kind of representation or maybe weapons which Kumara or Kartikeya holds. Which can be a bow, which can be a spear, which can be an axe also. In certain representation we can see that she holds a silver coin. Then comes Varahi. If you will remember, Varaha is one of the avatar of Vishnu. Varaha has been considered an avatar who protected the earth. So the representation of Varahi also considered to be in similar, the protector of the earth. She is also called as Vairahi or Varaha Avatari. So she is boar-headed. Varaha Avatar is a boar-headed avatar of Vishnu, and here also it comes into boar-headed deity. She holds plow, or she holds a danda, or maybe a stick. She also holds gada or talwar, or maybe a sword. Then comes a very unique representation of Chamundi. Uh, and this particular representation is feminine power of a female deity. Uh, until now, we have been seeing there, like for an example, Vaishnavi is Vishnu's female power, Maheshwari is Mahesha's or Shiva's female power, Aindri is Indra's female power. However, Chamundi is considered to be female power of the Chandi, that is a female deity. She holds a skull. She wears a mundamala. That means the garland of skull. She also holds damaru, trishul, panpatra. She rides on a jackal, or maybe certain time in certain representation she is seen as a dancer on a corpse of a man. She is considered to be the old looking deity, and she is with sunken belly. That is what we will be able to see the representation of Chamundi. And the last one is considered to be Narasimhi. She is lion headed. One of the avatar of Vishnu is Narasimha. So she is lion headed. She also holds similar weapons of Vishnu, that is Shankha, Chakra, Padma, Gada, etc. So this is representation of Ashta Matruka. However, at the human level, if we will see, it comes in a very, very beautiful connotation. Brahmi, which is considered to be the power of Brahma, which comes into, which represents creation. Vaishnavi, who is representation of Vishnu, represents sustenance. Maheshwari, who is representation of Shiva's power, which is considered and representation of feeding. Aindri, observation. Kumari, protection. Vairahi, valor. Chamunda, suffering. And Narasimhi is action. Such beautiful representation of mother. If we will see, mother has all these qualities: creation, sustenance, feeding, observation, protection, valor, suffering, and actions. If one of these qualities is not there in a mother, the child to be considered as a different kind of a child of not a good mother. So it is a representation, beautiful representation of Ashtamatruka in a play. You will see Ashtamatrukas or Saptamatrukas as a group deity. You will not be able to see them separate. If you see them separate, their name or representation would be differently mentioned in Indian philosophy. It's a group of deity. It is worshipped or maybe represented in a group fashion itself. So let us have a salutation. Let us salute to that mother who holds all 8 qualities of Ashtamatrukas and who are personified in our life. We will listen and we will understand more about group, number groups, and the female power in future vlogs also. Keep seeing Rukh Hyatt and keep liking, commenting, and also giving feedback to Rukh Hyatt. Namaskar.